Hey people, here I am, right where I first had my epiphany about energy in the United States. Because, you know, it's a quandary for Americans. What should we do? Keep burning oil? It's obviously fairly cheap, and then with the idea of fracking and such, we can really get some, squeeze out some more oil. So the price went down. I mean, drill baby drill in a lot of ways has worked. No one can really deny that. But right here, I would say 27 years ago, I was standing in front of these redwoods next to Highway 50. And these coast redwoods are planted along freeways in Northern California, not because of their drought tolerance really, but because of their ability to tolerate exhaust from cars and such. As you can hear the cars behind me right now. And you can also see that there's a dead tree in there. Now the reason why I am talking about this is because I stood here 27 years ago as a computer programmer at Cable Data, and admiring the much smaller redwoods back then, I felt, wow, there's a little more damage to these redwoods than I would have expected, given what I thought about their ability to handle exhaust and things like that. And I wondered about it, and I kind of sat there and looked at these trees, and as weird as it sounds, I actually felt like, in my head, I felt the trees like whisper something to me. And the thing they whispered to me, wow, I wish you guys wouldn't close Rancho Seco. It sure would help us out a lot as trees. So now it's 27 years later, and Fukushima's happened, and there's even more concern about nuclear power than there ever was. But now finally climate change is becoming relatively widely accepted. 27 years ago it did not see that kind of acceptance. So when I would write about, hey, pro-nuclear environmentalism, I had to write a whole bunch of stuff about, hey, climate change is real, and stop calling it global warming. We don't even know what's going to happen. And any scientist who says they know what's going to happen, they're just lying. Now, the fact of the matter is we need to stop these inputs into the climate, into our atmosphere. And there's only one way to do that, and that's nuclear power. And now, almost 30 years later, that still is the case. It really is. We have to accept it. 30 years ago, I spent so much time even convincing people that climate change existed, before I could even get around to talking about nuclear power. The fact that, hey, let's think about the idea of a septic tank versus just taking a crap on the side of our campsite. Having a porta potty or a septic tank where you put your waste versus just spewing it out. Well, hey, we learned that as a species long ago. But yet here we are spewing our waste into the atmosphere. We have no idea what the half-life of that is. All the nuclear waste created since the beginning of the atomic age has been in barrels. We know where it's at. The industrial age is pollution of the last 300-400 years. We don't know where it's all at. It's all in the atmosphere, we guess, but some of it might be in the ocean. We don't know where all that carbon dioxide really went, but we can sure see that it's changing the climate. Mr. O'Malley, the most liberal of all the Democratic candidates as far as it comes to environmentalism anyway. He's talking about we can be energy independent by 2050. 2050? Since when do we have over 30 years? 30 years ago, maybe we had 30 years. We don't have 30 years now. We wait another 30 years, we're going to be in big trouble. This is America. Our big advantage has been our climate and all this arable land we have. That's going away. This is our big advantage. We are the country that will lose the most. And yet we are the country, maybe second to China, that, is doing the least. Maybe Chinese are the worst, but, and the Indians, I don't know, maybe. But in any case, we need to lead the way. And we need to stop our fear of nuclear power. And for years and years, it's really been a partisan issue, right? Where you couldn't convince Republicans that, climate change existed. Democrats, anything about nuclear power. It was the devil. But, you know, that has led to basically the entire, you know, infrastructure of energy that we have here being being fueled by coal and oil, fossil fuels. It's ridiculous. Come on, people, we got to do better. If the ice slides off Greenland, the ice sheet slides off of Greenland, starts floating around, nobody knows what's going to happen. A giant ice sheet like that floating around, it's going to change climates before it completely gets, you know, completely melted. So, I mean, I don't know what to say to convince you, but I'm trying to come up with the things that, you know, we have to get together. Nuclear power is the only answer we have, and that's why I'm standing in front of these trees, one of which is now dead, these coastal redwoods, and, you know, pitching to you guys, nuclear power is the answer. Hydrogen fuel cells are driving to Sacramento as we speak, claiming to be some kind of answer because they have more range. Come on, where's hydrogen coming from? You need energy to get the hydrogen. You can split water. Where's that energy going to come from? Nobody knows. Right? Come from fossil fuels. You gain nothing. Is it going to come from fracking and natural gas? Yeah, you get hydrogen out of there, but come on, we're going to do some more fracking? Really? That's hydrogen? And then on top of it all, oh, you know, water is so benign as a tailpipe, you know, exhaust. Why? Why do we think it's benign? Come on, people. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas. What's wrong? Don't you understand? Where are the scientists on this? We shouldn't even be talking about fuel cells. There's absolutely no reason to be talking about fuel cells. It's a dead end, but yet we're still doing it. It's foolish. We have to do better. Nuclear power is the answer, and California really ought to lead the way. I mean, really. It has to be California. We are the ones that, you know, we have the best freaking climate in the whole goddamn country. Yeah, well, we want to protect it. And, you know, I'm appealing to, you know, environmentalists everywhere to consider nuclear power. It's truly the answer to climate change. It truly is.